Have you ever felt like you're drowning, but in your own body, which you feel is much too big? Do you ever feel like you're carrying a shell around that's way too heavy and you just can't get rid of it? As if you feel trapped inside your own body, which is foreign to you because you've become so big that it just feels terrible every day and you can't find a way out? I know what you're feeling. I've been there. 200 pounds ago, I didn't have any belief in myself. I didn't believe I would ever be anything other than 350 pounds or more because I kept gaining weight. And diet after diet after diet, I'd given up hope completely. I was doomed to sit in my room unhappy and isolated and sad and lonely and heartbroken and hating myself the rest of my life. That's what I believed would be my destiny. But today I want to talk to you about how I found hope and I started to move forward. And 200 pounds later, I want to share my success story with you so that you can have hope too. And you can take those first baby steps to getting yourself out of where you are right now. I was 350 pounds at my heaviest, and I was absolutely sure I was not going to lose the weight. I felt like a prisoner inside my own body. Mentally, spiritually, physically, I felt there was no way out. For years, I'd been stuck in this cycle of trying and failing and trying and failing. Diet after diet, I'd lose a bit of weight, but I'd not only gain it back, I'd gain more. Diets weren't working for me because I didn't need a quick fix. I needed a lifestyle change to get to where I could actually succeed in my weight loss journey. I had come to believe that the only life I would ever live was being fat, obese, morbidly obese, and that I could never get out of it, that my health was doomed, I'd have a shorter life, I'd not grow up to see my grandchildren live, and that was a really sad way to live. When I look back, I actually feel bad for the person I was at the time because I was heartbroken, I was lonely, I hated myself, and that's a terrible way to feel. And if you're feeling like that right now, I hear you, I feel you, I've been there, and there is a way out of it. One day, I had a wake-up call though. After trying so many different ways to lose weight, my daughter, who was so desperate for me to lose weight, all of my family was, but she really was persistent in trying to get me to do different diets and systems. And she came to me one day and she said, "Mom, I can't tell you how heartbroken I am. I'm so sad." And I didn't know why, but she continued, and she said to me that I was not going to live long enough to see my two baby twin granddaughters grow up, who were 5 months old at the time. And when I thought about it, I thought, oh my God, but I dance with them and I sing with them. And I thought, oh my God, who's going to sing to them? Who's going to read all the stories I want to read to them? Who's going to bounce them around and make them laugh and make them smile and sing silly songs to them the way I do? And the thought of not seeing them grow up was enough to give me a reason, a deep purpose, and why I could lose weight. That was my wake-up call. That was the day that changed my life forever. It was August 22nd, 2022, and 25 months later, 200 pounds later, I can tell you all those lies I believed in the beginning about not being able to do it and being too fat, too overweight, on menopause, no thyroid, all those things went to the wayside. And I just said, I have to lose this weight and I have to do it now. Despite having hit menopause and being 57 years old, despite taking antidepressants that are a sure way to gain weight, despite not having a thyroid, which is another thing that slows your metabolism down, and despite believing I didn't have the genetics to be able to have a thinner, nicer body again, which was a lie because I went through most of my life with a decent sized body. So I don't know why I believed that lie, but it was time to make a change. How was I going to do that? The very day my daughter talked to me about that, I joined an online group which focuses on overeaters, and I learned a lot about overeating and strategies to overcome that with them. And I guess my biggest takeaway was not just the fact that I lost 200 pounds, but it was getting to the bottom of why I had gained it. What was it that made me feel like I'll feel better if I have some food. I just need to have something. I feel like there's nothing I have but food. All of those things went through my head, and I learned that when I felt those things, I needed to do something about it rather than eat. The more I felt I needed to eat something that was outside of my regular eating plan, the more I realized that I had a lot that I was carrying and needed to let go of, or at least work through it and accept things that were just outside of my capacity to change. So with 200 pounds between me and a healthy weight, I was overwhelmed. I was daunted. I thought, how am I ever going to do this? I can't do that. So I shifted thinking I need to lose 200 pounds to thinking I need to lose 10 pounds. I can lose 10 pounds. I've done it before. I made small achievable goals for myself, and I hit those goals. After 1 month, I had lost already 10 pounds. And the second month, I lost 10 pounds. And I did that over and over again. And I had success that I never believed I would ever have. And what looked like impossible started to become a possibility, started to be maybe you can keep losing another 10 pounds next month. Maybe you can lose another 10 pounds after that. But I kept the 200 pounds out of my mind because it was just too overwhelming. 200 pounds was this huge mountain looming in front of me that I knew I could never climb up. But 10 pounds was, okay, I can do that. When you start your own weight loss journey, set small, achievable goals so that you can reach them. Make sure you set yourself up for success instead of setting yourself up to a misbelief that you can't do the 200 pounds or the 50 pounds or the 100 pounds, whatever your amount is. Take the baby steps you need to get there. Focus on those little things. It helps so much. When I lost that first 10 pounds, I was really excited, but I knew it really wasn't very much of a 200-pound journey. But I still resonated on the fact that I had that success that day. I resonated on the fact that I had set a goal and reached it. So I quickly set my next goal. Okay, you can lose another 10 pounds. And then did that. Then I added in some walking a couple of months later. Walking was scary to me because I couldn't walk across my bedroom, which is about 14 feet long, without losing my breath and panting. It was so embarrassing. If I picked up the babies, everybody was watching me because I was picking up the babies again. And, oh, is she okay to be walking across the house with them? Is she okay to be walking up the stairs with them? And they were all concerned because I was just that out of shape. But my first walk was 2 blocks long. I was panting like I'd walked 5 kilometers, but it was a start. And after that start, I got home and I said, oh, you actually walked. That's the first time you've exercised in years. And I was so proud of myself. And I said, okay, don't let go of that. Do it again tomorrow. And I did. I did it again the next day. I did it again the next day and slowly increased it. And over time, got myself to walking regularly 10 kilometers a day and often just going a lot further than that. But I started small, and starting small is what helped me achieve it. And this is what I want you to hear today. You don't have to focus on the fact that you've got a massive amount of weight to lose. You don't have to focus on the fact that you can barely walk around the house. You focus on, what can I do today that's going to help me get towards being healthier? What can I do today that can change my mobility a little bit? How can I change my eating habits a little bit? The hardest part wasn't the food change, and as a matter of fact, that was so easy for me that it's ridiculous because I automatically decided to cut out sugar and flour, which was terrifying, but I just knew I had to do it because I was abusing them both so much. And I knew that I had to drink more water. I knew that my portions had to go from this big to this big. And I allowed myself to get there slowly. The problem was the emotions and the pain and the trauma and the stressors and the triggers of why I was eating. Dealing with that was the hard part, but that's where I found the freedom. That's where I found the healing that took away my need for comfort, my need to have some food. I need to feel better. I found healthy ways to feel better and healthy ways to deal with those emotions that crept up and the stress that life gives me to this day. And I found ways to deal with past trauma that were healthy and release them from my spirit. Because losing weight, if you're really obese, if you've been a chronic overeater for a long time, your weight problem isn't the food. The food is just a symptom of what you're going through on the inside. My healing and my weight loss started here. It started on the inside and worked itself out. And I had healing with my body, healing with my spirit, healing with my mind that came fully together. And that is what made me succeed in my own weight loss journey. If you start to think about losing weight as, why do I feel like eating right now? I'm not hungry. Why do I feel like I need to eat? And you take time, you put strategies in place like journaling, like talking to someone, like building a support network, like putting in mindful activities and prayer and meditation and perhaps support groups that can help you. It will make the biggest difference to you. Understand that you've gained the weight because you eat too much. And you eat too much because you're hungry? No. When you eat when you're not hungry and you just keep eating and eating and eating and you don't know why, there is a why behind it. And dealing with those whys is what helped me to lose 200 pounds. And it will help you lose your weight and get to your goal as well. Once I started my journey and I lost that first 10 pounds and I lost that second 10 pounds, I started to notice changes. For instance, with the walking, once I started to implement a little bit of walking, I wasn't losing my breath anymore as I walked across the room. And I was still 320, 330 pounds, yet my stamina had increased and my endurance had increased. I started to have more energy, which I had not had for years. I started to feel more positive about myself and let myself hope a little bit more again. I started to believe in myself in a new way. And every small step forward was a step towards success. Then every time I had success, I believed in myself more. And when I believed in myself more, I was able to determine to do it more. And that vicious cycle I had been on had now turned into a positive cycle that kept me moving forward day after day. My attitude changed. I became happier and I looked forward to my day instead of dreading getting through another day again. I was able to get through it successfully without turning to food because I was dealing with why I turned to food. And that's what made the difference to me. It wasn't about the number on the scale anymore. It wasn't about losing weight. It was about reclaiming my life. It was about finding myself again and being confident again and feeling energetic and willing and happy and maybe not hiding from everybody in the world because I hated myself so much and I didn't want them to judge me and I didn't want them to feel a certain way about me, which was really unfair of me because I was judging the people I was closest to and the people that had shown me kindness in my life. By hiding from them, I was judging them and saying, they're going to judge me. How dare I do that? How dare I do that? I look back at that and I think, wow, that was really twisted thinking. And even when I started my channel, I hesitated because I didn't want them to know where I had gone, how bad it had gotten. But I thought if I can inspire anybody, if I can tell them this story and give them hope, I'm going to put myself out there anyways, and I'm going to put my pictures up, and I'm going to show the world that I was 350 pounds so that maybe somebody in this world can find hope too, because there is hope for you. There is hope that you can do this. And I didn't believe I'd ever have hope. I didn't believe I ever would have the success I've had. But one baby step at a time, I've gotten here, and so can you. Look, I know how hard it is to even dream about feeling better and losing weight. I know how hard it is to allow yourself to hope again because you don't want to disappoint yourself again. And how it is to feel like Am I never going to be happy again? Am I never going to feel good again? Am I never going to go to bed without pain because I'm just that heavy and my body's hurting from carrying around this extra weight? I know how it is to feel like I'm never going to be healthy again. And you may be feeling the same way. Maybe you're scared to hope like I was. You are worthy of having hope again. You are worthy of taking the effort you need to put into it and feeling happy again, feeling healthy again, feeling like you matter to yourself more than anyone else. I want you to think about reclaiming your happiness and your joy and the confidence that will come and the energy that will come. If I could sell my energy, I would be a billionaire. I have so much energy that it is insane. The things I do in a day from 6 a.m. until midnight are nonstop, and I barely have time to relax in between, and yet I keep going. And who would have thought that would happen a couple of years ago? Because that's not what life looked like for me at all. So if you're there, please hear my story. I was where you are now. I understand. I've been there. And you can get there too, one small step at a time, and we can do it together. So here is what I'm asking of you today. Can you take one small step forward? It doesn't have to be a big one. You can change something in your eating. You can start drinking a healthy amount of water every day. You can start journaling today and trying to deal with the feelings that are driving you to the food. But take one step today, because that one little step will be your first victory. And victory pushes forth more victory. And it's such a self-perpetuating goodness that you'll see building in yourself. It will give you a mind shift that will be so powerful that you'll just keep pushing forward because you've pushed forward. It happens quickly. It takes you by surprise, but it happens. You are more powerful than you realize you are. You're more capable than you think you are, and you're worth every little bit of effort you need to put into this to get through your journey. If you're ready to commit yourself to this journey, if this story and this video resonated with you, subscribe and join this lovely community of women and a couple of men who support each other and encourage each other and celebrate together when they have a weight loss, and celebrate when somebody pushes forward for their first day and they make a commitment and then they stick to it. It's powerful to have that support. It's powerful to make a commitment. Can you make a commitment today? Hit that subscribe button. Keep coming back. I've got much more to share with you on how to get through this journey with you, no matter how old you are, no matter what your physical shape is right now. It is never too late to start over. You can do this, and we can do it together.